I move that the question be now put.
Chair. I'm sorry, you've had all your calls.
Oh.
I'm going to hear from Chris Farfoy.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, for as long as I've been a Member of Parliament in this House, I've sat and watched the Minister of Social Development say to those young Kiwis out there who are looking for work that we back you, we are right behind you. But in this bill, Mr Chair, there are measures that say, but we back you and we're behind you, but we don't trust you. We don't trust you enough because we're going to give you a card payment to make sure you can make all these payments. We don't trust you enough, so we're going to bring in these measures. So, Mr Chair, I think the SOP that has been put forward by my colleague Jacinda Ardern to slightly amend the way in which those cards are used is a sensible and wise supplementary order paper, Mr Chair, and the fact that it gives those young people on those benefits the opportunity to at least prove that they are trustworthy when they are getting their benefit, and that they might be able to get some assistance in terms of budgeting too, but also that if they do get themselves into trouble after 8 weeks, then the authorities can look to the card payment system for them as a possible option. But we don't believe, as Jacinda Ardern told the House a couple of minutes ago, that this card payment system should be applied to all of those young people that it currently does in the bill as it stands now. Mr Chair, this bill is another case from the National Party, and there have been many since it took office, of wanting to make the rhetoric the reality. And Mr Chair, this is the kind of bill that you introduce when you haven't done enough to create jobs in the 4 years that you have been in power. Mr Chair, if they were serious about tackling unemployment, Mr Chair, we would have seen some measures in the Economic Growth Department, but as we've seen for the last 4 years, they're done for pretty much zero, and that's why unemployment has increased and stayed around the relative level that it has now for some time. And we can see the growing level of frustration around the country, Mr Chair, as Kiwis find it harder and harder to find work, and this is what they are being given in terms of the great white hope from this government in terms of trying to find ways to encourage young New Zealanders into work. Mr Chair, this bill does not address the real issues that are stopping job seekers into work. It does not address the real issues. It doesn't address, as I've said, the availability of work, and we've seen the many instances where the likes of supermarkets have advertised for the likes of 300 jobs, and 3,500 people, many of them well qualified for much better jobs, have lined up wanting a job at their local supermarket. So, Mr Chair, in that instance, this government has failed to address the unemployment problem, and this is what they bring in to try and address it. This is what they try and bring in to address it. It also hasn't addressed whether the people who are looking for work have the appropriate skills for the work that might be available. And we've also heard a supplementary order paper from the Green MP Jan Logie around the training incentive allowance, and we think, along with the Greens, that the government should maybe take a rethink around that and reintroduce it, given what it has achieved for many other people who have had the experience of having had the training incentive allowance available to it. But, Mr Chair, I must go back to the inability of this government to take any real action in terms of trying to create real jobs in our economy, and the fact that our unemployment rate has stayed static. And I think this is a bit of a lazy effort to try and make it look like they're taking action to address the unemployment issue. But it is sad in the way that they have addressed this issue for our youth. Mr Chair, I also understand that youth receiving a benefit under these circumstances will have to meet certain obligations, such as undertaking full-time education or budgeting program for parents. But, Mr Chair, we believe that this is simply if they're going to get $10 more a week, this is simply a $10 bribe for those young people to stay in training, and it is not a sustainable response that is needed to help the 80,000 plus New Zealanders out in our communities, and there's certainly many of the young people in my community of Mana who are out there honestly trying to find work. And Mr Chair, they are finding it difficult given the conditions. It's not just young people, I must add. There are a lot of older Kiwis out there, especially I've met a couple. Mr Chair.
Mike Saban.
Move that the question be now put.
The question is that the question be now put. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Party vote's called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
14 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 64, the noes are 57. We will move to the vote. We have a number of amendments. The first amendment is in the Minister's name as set out on SOPs number 75 and 83. The question is that the Minister's amendments be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Party vote's called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
14 opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 64, the noes are 57. The Minister's amendments are agreed to. The next amendment in the name of Jan Logie, as set out on SOP number 78, has been ruled out of order as the government has exercised its veto, its financial veto. We now move to the next amendment, the TypeScript amendment in the name of Jacinda Ardern. The question, and this is to delete clauses 18 and 19. The question is that the amendments be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. Noes have it. Party vote's called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 57, the noes are 64. The amendments are not agreed to. We now move to the TypeScript amendment in the name of Megan Woods to clause 20. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. The party vote's called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 vote opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 57, the noes are 64. The amendment is not agreed to. We now move to a typescript amendment in the name of Jacinda Ardern to Clause 20, replacing new section 174. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. Is it? Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 57, the noes are 64. The amendment is not agreed to. The next typescript amendment in the name of Jacinda Ardern is to Clause 20, new section 179. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 57, the noes are 64. The amendment is not agreed to. Members, the question now is that Part 1, as amended, stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Ayes have it. Party votes called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
14 opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 64, the noes are 57. Part 1, as amended, will stand part. We now move to debate on Part 2. This is debate on clauses 22 to 27 and Schedule 2. The question is that Part 2 stand part. Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr Chair. This is just going to be a brief call, and it's actually in the nature of a question for the Minister, hopefully. And this is partly because I wasn't on